You seem to be in a bit of pain. What's bothering you?
My whole body, mostly.
Obviously, the leg kicks, we were just talking about the leg kicks. Is that something that you prepared for? Was that part of the game plan going in, or is that something that you saw as the fight unfolded?
It was part of the game plan, I guess, but as the fight went on, I thought the leg kicks were working pretty well. So it wasn't the main goal of the game plan, but I saw opening and it was working out, so I just kept going.
And you didn't seem to get a lot of respect from people going into this fight. Did you notice that? Did you use that as motivation?
Between me and Nate?
Yes, as far as like the odds makers and whatnot.
Sorry, James.
You were a big underdog, right?
Oh.
He was the favorite. You were the underdog.
Yeah.
Did you use that as motivation? Were you trying to prove something? Is that what you were thinking about as you were preparing?
Yeah, it was definitely the motivation from, and I had also a lot of other motivation, but I like to beat the odds, and I train really hard, and for me, I didn't really pay attention to the odds because it's MMA, and it's hard to anything can happen, I believe, and as far as motivation, winning the belt and was one of the biggest motivation for me.
And just one more for him. Who do you feel like you should fight? I mean, obviously you're the champion. It's pretty much assumed that you're going to go over to the UFC. Do you think you should fight the winner of GSP Nick Diaz, or do you think you should work your way up?
It's not really my call. I believe, I would love, definitely one day to fight for the belt. That was this belt was my goal, first. Now I reached my goal, and I need to set up new goals. And I haven't really thought. I didn't think about, what's next after this belt. So I need to take a step back and think about what's next step for my career. And I haven't been approached by the UFC. And whatever's tomorrow is coming. I'll be ready.
Tarek, I was wondering if you felt you were ahead going into the 5th round or not, and if you didn't think you were ahead, did that give you extra motivation to go for the takedown?
Coming to the 5th round, I thought I was ahead. It was close, also in my mind, but at the same time, I knew I was kind of, ahead on point. And, I saw the opening for the takedown, and I took it. I worked a lot on my takedowns with all the guys at Team Quest, and I felt pretty good. And it was also kind of part of the game plan, even though I didn't try it earlier in the fight. And, I saw the opening, and I took it, even though I was really ahead or far back on the fight. I just took the chance to take him down.
Were you kind of surprised that you got it, given that Nate's really well known for his wrestling, or did you feel like, as you said, Team Quest had you well enough prepared that was going to happen?
I know that Nate is a really good, well-rounded and great wrestler, but working with Team Quest, as you said, he's been helping me out so long. Training with Dan and all my teammates at Team Quest. We have really great wrestler, and he helped me ready for wrestling for MMA. Not wrestling for college, but wrestling for MMA. That's a great team, for that.
Very good. And Nate, if I could follow up really quick with you, a lot of people, as Ariel noted earlier, thought that you were coming out of this fight the champion and heading to UFC. Obviously, plans change, things change in a fight. What are your plans now that you're not the champion? Are you still looking to UFC, or what's your plans?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm definitely headed to the UFC, and I know I'm gonna do great at 170 in the UFC. This is a one step back for me, but at the same time, I'm excited about what's next. I'm very disappointed. I'm heartbroken right now, and like I said before, I wasn't ready for the leg kicks, and I really felt that's what made the difference in this fight. Shoot, man. What else can I say? That's it.
Well, it was a great fight, though. So.
Cool. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Scott, obviously Tarek answered the question, but I'm just curious, do you think that he should go over and be able to get a quick title shot in the UFC?
I think that Nate and Tarek are both great fighters, and I think that they'll both be going over there. But where and when and who they fight, really, I think that's something you should probably talk to Sean or Joe.
Kind of knew the answer before I asked it, but hey, you never know. Maybe I can squeeze it out of you.
That response. No, but on a serious note, it's really up to them, and we really have to have that conversation about when these guys would fight, when Gilbert would fight, or when any of the champions from Strikeforce will go over and fight. So I think that conversation will probably happen in the next week or so. But right now it's undetermined, and so I really have no idea.
And real quick for Gegard, if I could. We know about some guys that are definitely going over to the UFC. Others of you we haven't necessarily maybe heard for sure, I'm going over to the UFC. Can you give us your status? And if so, my second question is, we haven't seen you in a while. It's been a little bit over a year since you last fought. Is this something now, if you do go over to the UFC, you want to be more active in the next year or so?
Yeah, for sure. I talked to my manager. He spoke to Joe Silva to UFC. So I believe I'm heading to UFC. I haven't been confirmed yet. I'm looking forward to keep busy in 2013. I want to fight as much as possible, and the bigger the name, the better.
Is this something that you've kind of had as a long-time dream to be able to fight in the UFC? Because obviously you've been very active in your career.
Yeah, I think people underestimate me. I lost one fight, and I see some fighters lose horribly, getting knocked out, getting submitted. I lost one fight, and suddenly I hear a lot of fans talking that I'm not good. So I'm looking forward going to UFC to fight these big names that people think they're so good. So I'm looking forward to that.
So you feel like you kind of have something to prove at that next level?
Yeah, for sure. I think I stepped up my training, so I feel very confident, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm sure I'll do just fine.
And for Jacare, real quick, do you have a translator?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay. Obviously, this is 3 wins in a row. The last 2, all 3 very impressive, but the last 2, really impressive in the first round. But he's kind of set himself apart as one of the guys that people really were looking at to move over to the UFC as somebody that was going to be exciting and present some challenges for people. Can you talk a little bit about that next step for him as well? And is he for sure going over? And if so, what does he want to do once he gets there?
Pega 2 vitórias contundentes, eu sei que eu vou mostrar realmente muito bem. O público está esperando você chegar no UFC e tem grandes expectativas. O que você vai fazer no UFC e o que você acha? Como vai ser o seu futuro no UFC?
Eu acredito muito no meu trabalho. Eu tenho fé que eu vá ter um futuro promissor no UFC e acredito que eu vou fazer grandes lutas lá. Vou quebrar a galera também.
I believe in my hard work. I believe that I'm gonna do pretty well there, and there's a lot of good talents and good opponents over there. But I'm going there to, break some people down.
Is this something also that's been a long time dream of his as well, to be able to move to the UFC? He just hasn't been able to until these circumstances came about.
Então, você tem história de muito tempo isso acontecia e as circunstâncias que demoraram para acontecer.
Eu acho que não demorou. Eu estou aqui porque eu escolhi estar aqui, entendeu? Eu acho que eu tinha que pegar uma experiência antes de ir pro UFC. Eu acho que chegou a minha hora. E é isso aí.
I believe the time just run right. I got a lot of experience. I have great fights, and now I'm pretty much ready and mature to go to UFC and do my best.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks very much, and we'll see you at the Thanks UFC. Thanks.